Hello, welcome to our React Native with Expo Crash Course. This has been the most awaited, the most requested course of all times, and we have just released it, and you can find it right now at nextjsacademy.com, and it is having all the nitty-gritties of understanding React Native and Expo. So we start by doing all the setup, understanding what is React Native, understanding what is Expo, and then we cover all the basic concepts of using Expo and React Native, like installing Android Studio, setting up Expo, creating your first application, Expo application, and we go through components like the basic React Native components. We go setting up styling with Native Wind. Those ones who like Tailwind, so we are using Native Wind, which is just Tailwind for mobile. And we set up navigation, and here we look at the bottom navigation. We look at the param search params, and then in the second part of the course we take it even more further. So we just do data fetching using TanStack React Query, and then we add the cat functionalities using Zustand. We looked at toast messages using notificated. We also looked at using, instead of using the Flashlist, we used the Flashlist, which is the modern and the most efficient way of rendering high performant lists. So if I'm showing the demo here of the app we built, at the end of the day, we have a very high performant application here, which is rendering these items using the Flashlist. It is using Flashlist instead of the Flashlist. And if I can click on this item, I just go on the detailed page, and this is where we just do the params and search params. Like for instance, this color comes from the search param. So we also just go ahead and do add to cart. So if I just go ahead and add an item to cart, let me just add this. So you can see there is a toast saying item added to cart. And if I just route to the cart here, I just have all my 3 items in cart looking really nice and beautiful. So if I just go ahead and remove this one, it just goes off from cart, and you can see even the total here reduces. If I just also remove this, you can see also this one goes out of cart, and I have only 1 item. If I also remove this one, I remain with an empty cart, and this is looking really nice. So if I just go to the home, so this is covering all the concepts that we did here. So the items are being fetched using React TanStack Query, and this makes it to gain things like caching and all those nice things. Yeah, so we cover all these ones. And by the way, those people are going to watch it from Next.js Academy for free. They're going to get all the source code. So thank you so much for watching this intro. Let's get started. Hello, welcome to today's video. So in this video is a continuation to our previous one where we covered a lot of concepts. If you haven't watched the React Native with Expo Crash Course, I want you to first go ahead and watch this part. If you're watching it from Next.js Academy, then it is okay. But if you're watching it from YouTube, then you need to go ahead and get this React Native with Expo Crash Course. That is the part 1. And now in this second part, we're just going to add in data fetching using React Query, and we're just also going to look at state management. So here I'm just going to add and state management using Zustand. Okay, so this is what you need, what we are going to cover in today's video. We're going to look at a lot of concepts, And I just want you to have your book and also just have your notebook so that you can note down all these concepts. So just going to continue from our project. If you remember, we had this project previously. So if I just click on the home page, we have this home page. Let me just click on the home page. And if I click on the jacket, you can see we just go to this page on the jacket. So just going to improve this so that we can just like now fetch a little bit of data, and we'll see how we are going to do that. So we're just going to start by just going to be using this as our we're just going to use this as our design point of what we're just going to be point on. So I will just go ahead and update these the search, favorites, and profile. So with that, let me just go to the code, this blog here. You'll find it in the links, or just look at it and just go to this. So down here, you will find we had already updated like the colors. I'm not sure if we're going to use those ones. Then another thing to update, so we can also just update our tailwind. So let me just put this here, or even minimize it. Let me copy this, and you can just like go ahead and put this in our tailwind config. So let me just first go ahead and stop the server for a second. So here I will say Control C, and then let me just go to our tailwind config, and let's update this. So we are just updating to add our primary color and secondary color, so we can access this at any point in time we want them. Then the next thing we're just going to do is we're just going to also update this icon symbol. So we already have this component comes part of the, it comes as part of the starting code or the default template that comes with Expo. It comes with that component. I'm just going to find it, icon symbol. So there is icon symbol.io.tsx and icon symbol.tsx. Just going to update this one just like this. It shouldn't give you any errors. What it does is that it gives us a lot of icons now. We have the paper, magnifying glass for search. We have cat, person, explore. So we have now a lot of icons we have that we can use in our navigations, which is nice. Let me see if there is anything else we need to update. Now we can also just like update our tab. So I'm just going to also just go ahead and update this tab, and we'll just add in the necessary pages that we need. Okay, so let me just go ahead and add this here. So just go in our, so right now we don't need these, but just going to leave them there. All these front, just going to focus on these tabs. So I just go in our layout here. I'm just going to update this. Okay, so I'm just going to update this. Let's just see the pages we need. So we need some more pages. We need on the bottom, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we can just like add these 4 things. We have the search, favorites, profile. So instead of the favorites, I'm just also going to add a cat. I'm just going to remove this. I will leave the search, but I'm just going to add the cat page. So inside the tabs, I'm just also going to create another page, which is going to be cat. Cat.tsx. I'm just going to say RNF. I'm just going to name this as cat. Okay, so this is a cut screen. Then we can just remove this Explorer, because now on this we don't need it. So we have, maybe just leave it instead of search, just leave as Explorer actually. And then we have also the profile. So we just add the profile page here. So you can just say add also profile.tsx rnf and just add profile. Okay, so now let me just go into these customize here the layout. So in this we have in this layout, let's just see what we have. The first one, we have the home screen, which is index. That's good. Then we have the second one. The second one is going to be Explorer. So I'm just going to leave here Explorer, and then I'm just going to name it Explorer. And then we can just actually leave it like maybe search. So since it is here named as a Explorer, just leave it Explorer. Let's give it magnifying glass. Then next is cut. Let's just say here cut. Then just say here cut. And let's give this as cut. I think we can just have cut.fill. Oh, we actually have the cut itself. Just going to change this to profile. Let me see if this is the last. I'm just going to change this to profile. So I'm just changing this to profile. And then profile. And then here, person.fill, that is okay. And then we have the Explore. Is there any other page we need here? So I think those are the only pages we have. Let me just remove this. Okay, so I'm just going to go back here. Okay, and I'm just going to start the server one more time. Okay. Just give it a second. Okay. So let's just reload the app. So I'm just going to bring this here. So meanwhile it is just loading, we can just look at the design. So I'm just going to add this discover with this cart item in the as the header. So we can create our custom components as usual. So let me just go ahead and in components. Okay, so inside the components, we can create our own custom components. So I'm just going to go ahead and just create the header. So let me create a new file. Just going to say header.tsx. Now, for this one, I'm just going to call it maybe the home header. Home header.tsx and rnf React Native function component. Now, in this header is having the discover. So if you just look at the design, let me first minimize this. We have this word discover and then this cut that side. So you can just say, discover, discover, and then on the other side, we can just say another view. And then in this view, we're just going to have an icon. So if you look at it, it is this. It has an icon and maybe that text. So we can just add an icon here and the text. I don't know if all of them should be added in the text. So this is the cart. So we could just go to the icon symbol if we wanted. We could just reuse the the icon symbol here. So if you just look at how you put this, is you simply you can use these material icons. So let's just go ahead and copy this in the header. So you think you can just like add this. I'm not sure if it can just stand on its own, or you have to put it in this text like so. Let's just say material icons. Then we have the color. So for this, we can just import the colors from the constants, and we can just say dot light dot, and then we can just give the primary color. I'm not sure the size. Let's stick to maybe 24. And then the icon, I'm just going to say cut. Then styles, I'm not sure if we just need any styles. This name here, so the card is not assignable to this. Let's just say, does it have like the suggestions? There is no any which starts with the cart. Oh, so we have actually shopping cart. Just add this shopping cart. And let's just go ahead and use this header for now in the index. So in the index, where we have the list of products. So now I'm just going to simply add a header. So here you can just see, simply add a header like this. And if you just go back, you can see that we have a discover and the shopping cart. That's good. So we can just come here and give this a class name. First of all, we can just give it text of XL font bold. Okay. And then we can add it as a flex. So I'm just going to say class name, flex items center. So this is supposed to be flex row. Like flex row like this, item center, justify between. So that this one is this side. And now we can also go inside here. So we have this cut, but it should be surrounded. I'm not sure if I just remove this and I add it on its own. And now so that I have now a text, so I can just give this a class name. Let's give this one a width. I'm just going to give it, let's just say width of 16, height of 16, border, and we can just say border. Let's first look at the design, the type of border we have. Okay, just have a normal border. And I'm just going to also give it flex, because if I just do padding of 2, let me see this. Okay, then we can just go ahead and give flex items center, justify center. And okay, they just give this one maybe 8. Okay, 8 looks bad. And just like try 12. Okay, I think 12 looks somehow a bit okay. So let's give this one rounded full, and then just like maybe the border So you can just say border gray 300. Yeah, that looks much better. And let's position something here. Let's give this one relative. And then we can just like have a text here. And we can just add maybe 3. And now this text, let's give it a class name. We're just going to give it position absolute. Then just going to give it, let's say first top 0, right 0. If I see what it's going to be. Okay. If you look at this, okay, it also has, I don't know if that is like a view where it is, but we can just like try, it has here a BG. And what is the color of the, okay, this one has a color of gray. So if I just go to colors and I look at the colors, we have these other colors, the normal one. So like this text here. So you could just give it text. And then this here, it has some background. So BG, let's say BG green 700. And let's give it a padding of 2. Okay, so this seems like it needs to be also like having a, instead a width of 4, height of 4. Let's see. And let's give it flex items center, justify center. I'm not sure if that one has just like centered it or something. Then let's give it rounded full. Flex items center, justify center. So maybe we just need to, can you just like put inside the text, you put another text like this? Then we need just give it top. Let's say top minus 2. And then right of also 2. Let's just give it also a negative. Right. Okay, so if you just look at this, okay, maybe top, let's just give it top 2. That would be inside. Then right 2. Okay. How about right 0? Let's increase this to 6. Okay, so flex is not working. I'm just going to turn this into view. Yeah. So now we need to position this top 0. Let's do -1. Okay, then here 1. -1. Yeah, so then they just give it text white. Let's give the text white text. So this, we can give this class name. text white. Okay, so let's go back and see. Okay, that looks I think good. VG top one, right one, rounded to full. I don't know why rounded to full right now is not working, but that seems like what we need. Now I'm just going to look for the right icon. So if you just go to Expo Vector Icons, so you can just go to Expo Vector Icons. Okay, here we can first filter by material UI, and then we just say cart. Okay, so we have shopping cart, so we don't have the other round one. Maybe that is in Ionic. Even Ionic doesn't have it. So you just like work with material UI with this shopping cart. That is going to work. Okay, so looking at what we have so far, that one is okay. Maybe you could just also I think 2 is going to be so high. I think 2 is okay. How about 2 here? Yeah. So we have the cut. I don't know, for some reason rounded has stopped working. Okay, I don't know. If I just say rounded full, yeah. So we have the cut items. Let's go ahead and look at what else do we need. So that's how you just like design. Now you just like also touch in the design for the cards a little bit. So if I just go back to the here, I'm just going to create also the product. So let me just go on the index. Now I'm just going to copy this and create it as a product. So just copy this, go back to this, and let's create the product.tsx, product.tsx, rnf. And now inside here, I'm just going to paste this. Okay. So this is the one, and then inside we have a link, and then we also have a link. I'm just also just going to make only, we could just like make this one a view, and we only make the product clickable. So I'm just going to remove these. Now for this one, just leave it a link. Okay, Expo, just like this. Now we need to pass in here an item, and this item, let's create here types, export interface. So you can just create an interface called item props, and then we can just say it has an ID, string. And then what else? We have the name and price. Name and price. Name and price. Name. So this is a string. And then we have price, which is also maybe for it is a number. And let's say item is of type item props. Okay, so we also have color. So you can just say color, which is a string. So we have this item. Let's import the image from React Native. And then we also have to say that we have an image, which is a string, just like this. Now at this point, we can remove this. We can just like copy this product. We can just call it product item, or just call it product anyways, not product item. So here we can just pass in this product just like this, and let's pass in two things: the key, which is item.id, and then here just going to pass in the item, which is the item. So this gives us the same exact UI, right? They we're going to just change this into a Flashlist, but they just like first wait for a second. I just want to fix this item where we have this link, and this rounded now is no longer working. So it's because of the nature of this link. Okay, it is just because of the nature of the link. I'm not sure if I should just give it width also full. Okay, so what I'm just going to do is that this piece of code, let me first remove these two, width is full. So I'm just going to go get these. I think I just need to put them on this one. Let me see. Yeah, just like that. Nice. So we need to add the add to cart to this. So we have, of course, this and the detailed page. I might not just cater so much on the detailed page since we already have it. What I'm just going to is going to be add to cart and this here. So let me just go ahead and look for a way of adding the button for add to cart. So what we just need to put is, we simply just need, while we have this here, we can just like now add another thing, which is going to be touchable opacity. So touchable opacity, and inside here we're just going to add the text, and inside the text we're just going to say add. And we could just say even add also the icon if we wanted. So you can just see we have the add. Now this is going to be in Flex, so just add the class name of Flex and then Flex row. Just going to add items center and justify between, so that this comes here. Now inside here we're just going to add some padding, so you can see all these ones. I'm just going to wrap them inside another view. Okay, and inside this view I'm just going to add class name. I will just add them some padding, more especially px, let's just say of 2. Just add a little bit of padding. Maybe we could just also add it a padding bottom of 2. Just put them a little bit from here. Maybe another thing we could just also do is adding a border to this. And we could just say add border gray 200 or 300, just like to add it to be so smooth. Let's just make it 300. And I don't know if we could just like add a shadow. Just add shadow like this a little bit. I don't know what happened, but since shadow broke, the things. I'm not sure, did this break because of the shadow? For the image, so down here, I'm just going to also add, let's just add padding bottom. So to this whole entire thing, here on this, we could just say add a padding bottom of maybe 4. Maybe that's too much. Let's just say of 3. How about of 2? Okay, so this looks okay. Now the add button, depending on how we want this to be, let's add this to be px of 3. And to the add button, we can also add the styles to this. Okay. First of all, I'm just going to go ahead and add the class name. Let's just add the text. In fact, font. Let's make it bold. Okay, and I think this is okay. Add. Do we need to add to cart just like this? Okay, that's like too much. We simply just need add just like this. Okay, and then on press, let me just have here a function. So you can just say function handle add to cart, function handle add to cart. So this is a function is going to run. For now, I'm just going to say console.log button clicked. And then we can just say go ahead and just add on press, and then we just say handle add to cart. So if I just go back here and what are they doing here? Couldn't navigate context. You have wrapped with navigation container, blah blah. I don't know what this is all about. But just going to click on this. So you can see button clicked. If we click on this, it takes us back to this. Okay, so this is good. Okay, we have our status. This looks basic, but this is going to work for us. Let's go ahead and first hide on this. If you look at the navigation we have at the bottom, we still have product detailed page. So you can just go back to this layout. And let me just go down here. So we have Explorer, we have Cart, we have Profile. So you can just like duplicate this profile thing. Let's duplicate this. And the name is going to be products/ID. And then here, this is going to be detail page. And then just going to go to these options down here, and we say href to null. So this is going to take away this link now. Okay. So we're interested, of course, in the cart page and even the increment there. So let's just like now implement maybe this instead of discover. I'm just going to say my shop. So let's just go to the header, home header. We can just come here and we say shop. Okay, we can just say my shop, and then I have all these items we have here. Now we're just going to replace, instead of using this in the index, instead of using this product map, we're just going to use a flash list. Okay, I've never used it before, but I just want us to try it. It is something, so you can just like search flash list in even the Expo docs. You can search for flash list. So you can just go here. You'll see that they explain it here. A React Native component that provides a fast and performant way to render lists. So Shopify is a fast and performant React Native list component that is dropping from this flat list. So you can say that is a drop-in replacement for React Native's flat list component. It recycles components under hood and maximizes performance. So you can just say that this is more performant. So let's just go ahead and install this. So every time you're just going to install something, it's good that you stop the server. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop the server and then npm install. Let's just say copy. Okay, npm install. So let's just remove this I. Okay, so just look at how this works. So if you just visit the documentation here, they say install. So you just click on install npm or Expo React Native any, and just go to the documentation. So inside the documentation, if you just look at it, they just say usage, and then they say you click here, and here they have the usage. So you have the data, okay, and then you have this. So basically, if you have a list, you simply pass in here. I don't know the options that we have here. Let's see. So you have the render item, then you have also the data. The problem is I want to look at other things that we have that we can pass in. So let's just go ahead and try it. So basically, we don't need any map, because when you have a lot of data, this is going to be a lot more performant. So I'm just going to copy this flat list. Then we can just go and comment this. I'm just going to comment it. And then I'm just going to come here on this flash list and let's import it from Shopify flat list. And instead of the data, we're just going to put products. And then here in the render item is where we specify the product. So render item, you can see item, and then you can return in here. So you just get access to the item, one item in this list, and then you can just say product. So here you can just say product, just like this. And then of course we can pass in the item as item. Okay, so we have exactly the same thing, only that now let's start the server. Now we have a more performant list. The status, I'm very sure they are going to change. Let's just look at the things we can just add in. So they say here, switch from flat list to flash list. Important, scan your render item hierarchy for express key, prop this, and remove them. If you're doing a map, use our hook, use mapping helper, check your render item hierarchy, blah, blah. Okay. So they say here, provide additional meta tags like, so we have the item from data being rendered, index, the corresponding to the item in the array, then target, you have all this extra data. I would just like want to know the other things that you can pass in. I'm not sure if, for instance, I want to get the 2 columns. So you have also here by default, you can see that it is horizontal. If true, renders items next to each other horizontally instead of stacked vertically. So if we look at now, we can just come here and let's refresh, reloading our app. Let me just bring it here. So now this, I think they'll be stacked vertically on top of each other. Let's just see. Okay, so I don't know what is happening because so far we don't see anything on the screen. So if you just go here, they say here Flashlist is rendered is not usable. Either the height or width is too small, less than 2 pixels. Please make sure the parent view of the list has a wide size. Flashlist will match the size of the parent. So that's a very nice description. So basically we can't just like add it in a view. So let's just add it in a view. I don't know if we're supposed to add it in a scrollable view, but just give this a class list of a width of 4. I just give it a actual figure like, okay, let me first give this a style for starters. Let's say width of 200, and let's say also specify the height of 200. Like was just to see what's going on. Oh, okay, so it seems like height is what matters. So what if I give here a height, height of maybe height full or height screen? I'm not sure of what to give in as height. So, but basically it has added a scroll because the height to being 200. So if I remove this, width number is enable type style prop views. Okay, so now height is working, height full. So let's see the width. So width of 200. So here, what if I just remove this style altogether? Okay, nice. So then here, what if you just like give it let's just see other things you can just like give it. So here for instance, we can just give horizontal. So if we say horizontal to true, just like this. Oh, so it renders them horizontally. That's not what we want. So what about the columns? Number of columns, and we say 2. Oh, okay, so we have now the 2 columns, only that then this item here. Let's see in this product. Let's give this width is full. Nice. Okay. how about giving, do you give like gap? For sure there is no gap here. So how do we add gap? Do we just simply add margin right on this? So here we gave width is 4, and let's just add just a margin right of 2. Okay, so that one doesn't work. There must be some other things we need to occupy here. Let's say column. And field color. I just want to add the spacing to this. Let's just continue here and see. Main container, auto scroll to bottom thread sort, start rendering from the bottom. Oh, there is masonry. So enable masonry layout for grid-like interface with varying item heights when used with the column. Okay, so you can just say masonry and you put the num columns. So what about if I just say masonry? How do they specify that? They just specify masonry here. It is no longer supported. Oh, what? Does not exist on this. So I think this is no longer supported on the Flashlist. We can specify the num columns. So multiple columns can only be rendered with horizontal force, and with zigzag like a flex wrap layout, items should always be of the same height. Mason layout are not supported. So you can see here, the mason layout are not supported if you do that. So then they say values here. Flashlist computes blank spaces that is visible to user during scrolling. You have even things like on road, on refresh, get item. Okay, so this is a nice experience. They had not used this. Override item layout. So you can't just like set span. You can put your, so here they say in V2 span supported, but size estimates are no longer needed already. Changing item span is when you have a grid layout and you want a few items to be bigger than the rest. So that's not what we want actually for our case. There is a style prop that you can pass in. Okay. So I'm just going to go and basically I'm just going to go ahead and see if I pass in like a style here. And then I just say gap of like 10. Let's just say maybe 6. I'm not sure if this will just do anything. So for you're still stuck without the gaps, I'm just going to ask for help in a second. But this, so far this is good. What we could do also, this one, we could give it a width of 90%. So we could just give the item, instead of width full, let's give this width of 90%, just like this. Okay, so you can see it creates some space between. So let's give state 95. Okay, but then down still does not give that. I don't know why margin for now is not working. I would only want to give margin in certain directions. For instance, sort of just like having margin all over the place, we could just like have only margin, right? I'm just going to first ask and see if this Flashlist does not have a gap. I'm just going to go to here. I'm just going to say I am using a flash list. How do I add a gap between the grid items? Let's see if it just like knows out at this item separate component. So you can just say render data item, and then you add this. Okay, let's like try to put these and see to try our chances. The item separator component seems to be supported, but this one actually does not exist. So this one was, I guess, removed. So let's go ahead and look at this. Oh, actually it worked. Really, it actually works. So you have item separator component. So you create a view and simply give it a height. So you're like placing that's like cool. So I'm just going to go ahead, and that means that I can give this width is full. Does it mean that? Oh, okay. So in this separator component, can I just give this also a width of 10? Okay. So like it only works. Okay, so let's just like not complicated. Let's just return back our 95. So now we are just good to go. Okay. Yeah, so this is how we do it. So you can just like remove this width, does not do anything. Okay, so at this point in time, we have our view. So let's start now fetching the data. Let's look at these. Okay, that one, we fixed these ones. I think we are good. So they're saying here, one estimate size Flashlist prop is not defined. Based on the current configuration, you can say to 187 to optimize list performance refer. So we just have to put this. We can just search this in the documentation of the Flashlist. I'm just going to search this. Okay, and they're saying that ensure estimate size is as close as possible to the real average value. Okay, here is how property calculated for this prop. I don't know how this is estimated, but they just go ahead and add what they said here in the dev console. Just add the estimated. Okay, we have, this is estimated what? Estimated item size. Estimated item size to 187. Okay, that's good. Now I think that is going to be item size, say to 191 to optimize performance. Okay, so let's just like continue with the next parts, and the next part is fetching using React query. So let's go to the documentation for React query. So I'm just going to go to React query. So you have TanStack React query, just go to installation. Now, I know you might just like, if you have just like used React Native before, you might have used use effect or you used something else. But let me show you just a code because this is due to experience. Please avoid using use effect as much as you can. If you can avoid it, better. Okay, let's say you are trying to fetch. This is the amount of code that you might just write. You need to make the state for the data you are fetching. You need to keep in sync with the loading states. You have to keep in sync of the error states, and then you have to go ahead and do the fetching like this. Okay, so you write a lot of code, and this is from experience. Like previously, the apps I built, I was using use effect. This can be really annoying. You write a lot of code, and every component you're having this. So this is not optimistic. It is not good at all. So just going to use React query for our data fetching, and this going to form the fundamentals I'll be using in the future. Okay, I'll be using these same fundamentals over and over and over. So make sure you just like go ahead and keep on doing that. And by the way, before we leave this component, I just want to simply get this Flashlist, how we have used it. I'm just going to go ahead and just a second. I'm just going to open the documentation website so that I can just like update this so that you can just like find the code. So I'm just going to go to this document. I will just add somewhere. Okay, I'll just add somewhere here like the Flashlist usage. And now we can just like add these components. I'm just going to say TSX. Let me just get this code because I'm just going to expand this. So add this. Okay, just add this. And then down here, I'm just going to add the component. So the product component. Okay, I'm just going to also add TSX. So let me just go also let me just also cross some things here to reduce on the load. So let me just go to the product here. So let me just get this. And let's add it inside here. Okay, so I'm just going to also go ahead and push this. Okay, and git push. Okay, so this documentation, you will find it under the coordinate guides, and then if you click on the guides, you will see somewhere the new guide. I think it is one of these ones. I don't know which one is the latest. How comes I didn't update this? I don't know this. You'll find it in the documentation somewhere here. So don't worry about that. About this, I will just check if it has gone through or not. Okay, so let's move on with TanStack Query. So the first thing is to go ahead and stop this. Let's go ahead and install TanStack Query. So just use any of these, just install. Just like this. Okay, so then let's just go ahead and see the usage on the quick start here. So you can just look at the quick start, and then we can just use this. So the first thing is create the provider and then wrap it in our app. So you can just go ahead and create this provider, and you can import the provider. So just get this, and then go ahead and create in the layout. Now we have a lot of layouts here. Make sure you're in the root layout here. So in the root layout, you can just go ahead and we have this. Let's just go ahead and wrap this like this. Let's remove this. So import this. So let's also create this const client. So you can just go ahead and just get the client just like this. Just add it here, and also get the query client just like this. So you get the query client and pass it in the client provider, query client provider, which gives all the pages. That's good. Now to use it, you can just really go ahead and get this. Let's first get the API. So I'm just going to go here and I will give you this API here. So just find this API, which is going to give us all these products. So let me just copy this link. By the way, we developed this API. To those ones who don't know, if you just go to this is hub, if you just go to coding school, if I can write it. So if you just go here on these courses, in this course is where we actually build all those things here. So there is this modern Next.js course is where we build this API. So let me just copy it and let me just go in my app. Now I'm just going to look for one place. I'm just going to do my data fetching. Okay, so you can just go ahead and create a new folder here. Okay, and you can just add this as data or API. Now I'm not going to create API because in the future there is API routes in Expo. So if I create here the word the app API, and in the future we create the API inside here, you'll get confused. So let me just leave it as data. So inside here I'm just going to add all the queries for data. Let's just say products. So you can say products.ts, and I'm just going to write an async function here. Async function. So async function. And in here, you can just go ahead and get like fetch, maybe fetch products. Any name you just give this one, has no problem. And inside here, there is no any parameter we need. So I'm just going to go ahead and call this fetch. So you can just say const response is equal to await, and then just say fetch. So I'm just going to use a normal fetch like this, and then we can pass in the API URL just like this. And inside here, you can just say like if no response dot okay, then we just want to throw a new error. So you can say throw new error, and then you can just say here failed to fetch products, just like this. And so this one, if no response, then down here I'm just going to say const data or response. So you can say response is equal to await, just await response dot JSON. This just like make this one to be result. So then we can just say return, and we can just say result dot data. Now we can just actually get what we want from this function. Let's say we don't want all this portion of the data. I will just go ahead and manipulate. So let's just say we need only a few things from here. So we already have a product somewhere, the item props. So I'm just going to say this is going to return a promise of item props array, just like this. That means like this function is going to return this, and let's export this. Export. Okay, so we need to return an object that looks like this. So let me just go back. So down here, instead of just returning this, I'm just going to go ahead and say that const products is equal to, so just going to say result dot, so if you look at this data here, we have three things here. Okay, we have the object. Inside this object, we have data. So that's where the array of products is located. That means I'm just going to say result is, so this one gives us an object, and this dot data is an array. So you can just say map, and then on this we access the item, and then we just need to return. Okay, just return this object, this one. So just cut and just return this. So let's start with the ID, which is going to be item.id, and then we also return this as item.name. So if you check here of the data, so you can see item.name.id. Then we have the price. So you can just come here and say what is the price, status, content, batch. So if you just continue down here, I'm not sure I'm seeing the price. We have product code, product cost, and product price. So we have the product price. So just going to say here, this is item dot. So you can put comma here, and then this is going to be item dot product price. Now for color right now, let's just add blue. So I'm just going to say blue. Let's just say text blue 600 for all of them. And then here, I'm just going to say image. So if you look at the image here, we have product images, and then there is product thumbnail. So you're just going to use this product thumbnail. So image is going to be item dot product thumbnail. Let's go ahead and so this return, let me just first cut it. So there must be something in here like so, dot product thumbnail. So just put the commas. Why is it saying, okay, just remove this. So for this name, okay, so the item has any here. We're just going to change that. We can just suggest say any. And then we are returning these, let me hope here. So let's just go ahead and return products. So here we return products like so. So if everything is okay, we have our fetch function working. Now let's use this fetch function. So we can just go back to the TanStack query, and let's get this query the way it is here on these queries. So we can just go in the index, go inside the tabs index like this, and on top here we can just like have this query is equal to use query. So let's just go ahead and get this use query. Now query key, we're just going to call this as products, and then this we specify a function which is going to be now fetch products, just like this. Now we can from this query get some things. Okay, so this query is holding some data, so you can destructure this, and we can just get, for instance, data. We can just get is loading. We can also get error, and even is error. So you can just get all these, and we can just like now stop. For now, let's first go ahead and console.log data. So I'm just going to go ahead and say console.log data, just like this. Let's start the app. Let's just go ahead and start the app. Okay, just give it some milliseconds for it to start. So I'm just going to reload the app. This starts building, and just bring this here. We just wait see if you have any errors. Okay, so we have the products, and on the console we have a lot of stuff going on here right now. Let's just go and see what we have on this. Let me just first minimize. And let's go ahead and do this. Okay. So what I'm just wondering is that it first goes undefined, then it gives us this ID, then it gives us the image name, but then we have all this information, product description, content. Okay, let's just go ahead and see this fetch products function. So we fetch, get the result. Let me hope like return the products. I'm wondering why it is giving us more data. We could just like format this. Let me just first format it just a little bit in here. We can just say JSON dot stringify the data. Then I think you can pass in is it like 2 then nar? I'm not sure. Like I always see this. Is it just like nar then 2? Okay, let's just like see this. Yeah, I just wanted just to be formatted. So it just went ahead and formatted this object. For some reason we have an ID, and then we have a name. Inside the name is why we have this whole entire thing. What's going on? Let's go and see this side. In fetch, where we have name. Oh my god. So he gave the name as the whole entire item. So this is supposed to be item dot name. Okay, so let's just reload this. Okay, so now we have nice object ID name and then price color image. Okay, so now we can't just say that if it is loading. So here inside the index, so we have this is loading and is error. So you can just say, for instance, if is loading, and then we can just return. Let's just return another view. So I'm just going to say view. And then here you can just say loading indicator. Is it just called activity indicator? Activity indicator from React Native, I believe. You can pass in size. Let's just say 24. You can pass in the color. Let's just say colors. And then dot light dot primary. You can also pass in other things, but let me just go here and get this class name. Let's just give first of all a height of 96. flex items center, justify center. Okay, so if it is loading here, it should just give this. Now we can just now go ahead and use this data. I'm just going to first comment this. Now we can use this data by saying renaming. Instead of passing in the products here, we're just going to pass in data, just like this. So now we have a loading indicator. I don't know if you saw that, which is nice. Okay, so you have a loading indicator, and then we have all these this nice experience. Since we're having the Flashlist, it is really fast. I did notice just like smooth like this. Okay, and the detailed page functionality should still keep on working. Oh, okay, so right now it cannot work because of these products. So we can still access this. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. Let's go to the detailed products detail ID here. So where we are getting these products, let me just go ahead and put this query here, like so. And I'm just going to import fetch products. I'm just going to rename this as products. Okay, and that means you can remove this. And then we have is loading, is error. So we could just use any of these. Let's also get the use query. Now, of course, in the actual here, you would call the API for the single item. I don't have that API, so we can just simply use the products. So just going to say is loading. So we can just say, so you can see this one has also an undefined. Okay. So I don't know if we can just give it some starting data like as empty here, like that. So we could just come here and we say that if is loading. So for instance, if is loading, then we can just return. We just go ahead and copy the same code we have in here. If it is loading, just go ahead and copy here. The advantage of this is going to be using the cache. So here just uses the cache. Let me just get the activity indicator and the colors. Okay. And if there is error, so I'm just going to do this. If error, okay, error like this, we can just come here and we just put the text. So you just add the text. Okay, failed to fetch products. Maybe fetch product, and I'm just going to say here class text read 500, just like that. Okay, and just also going to do this. Let's add it on here. I'm just going to add it here, and let's import the text. Okay, fail to fetch products, just like this. Okay, so if I just go back now, so let's click on the iPhone. So you can see it is actually finding the iPhone. Okay, so this is great. So far, so good. Now, so that is the part of fetching. We have the fetching. If I could reload the page. We have the loading indicator added. We have the, you can see that loading indicator. And then after we get all the items, we have used the Flashlist, which is very optimized, which is nice. And then we have used the use TanStack Query, which is nice for fetching. Now let's just proceed to the next one, which is adding in the cart functionality. Since we have the add to cart, let's go ahead and see how we can add the cart. Now in this, I just need to use the documentation that I created. Just give me a second. I'm just going to see this documentation. Okay, so we're just going to go into a section of implementing the cart functionality using Zustand. So for state management, there are so many state management libraries. You can use Jota, Context API, Redux, and so many others. But for React Native, since Zustand is lightweight and has minimal setup, I recommend that we always use Zustand for our state management. Now, the difference between, because even the difference between the React TanStack Query and the Zustand is that they manage different state. The TanStack Query manages global state of items that are coming from external APIs, while the Zustand manages the state within the app. If you're having preferences, notifications, the in-app state, that one is managed by Zustand, but the state that is going to be coming from external APIs, we use React Query. So what we just need is to go ahead and now create the cart. Okay, is to add Zustand and all other things, and then we also just going to start like building the cart page. Let's first go ahead and build the cart page. So I'm just going to go to the cart. So we have here our cart page. So far it has nothing. So just want you to go to this Expo React Query and Zustand. Scroll to the bottom. Let me first refresh. I just want to go ahead and scroll to the extreme bottom. Now we're not going to spend time designing this. I've already showed you that we can design. We designed so far some things here, but we don't need to design all these things. I know we can, and you should try to design all these ones. So I'm just going to go down here. I will just get this scroll to the extreme bottom. Now, if you just go to the extreme bottom, you will see some 3 components. And the first component is the cart page. So I'm just going to go ahead and return this. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and return this on the cart page. So here, just return this like so. So here we are turning a cart screen. So just go ahead and create inside the components. Let's create a component called cart screen. Okay, now by the way, you could just say create you could just say inside the components and you add screens. So let me just add a new folder, screens. And then inside the screens, we can now just add the cart screen .tsx, and let's get the code for the cart screen. Just like this. We have a few things like the cart card. So let me also just create the card. So we have the card down here. So you can just go inside the components and let's create the card .tsx. Okay, so let's just check here in the errors. So we just need the cart item types. So you can just get these types. So we're just going to create them, those types depending. If you look at the we need the image, so I can define the interface. Let me just get the, let's just say export interface cart item. So if you just look at the things we need is we just need the item to have the ID. So we just have the ID, image, product name. So we have the product name, quantity. So just come here. We're just going to have ID, which is going to be a string. We'll have the name, which is going to be a string. Image, which is going to be a string. We have the quantity. It's going to be a number. So we can just now remove this. Let's look at the errors. So we have the image. So this is going to be now item.image. This is item.name. We don't need the variant at this point. And then we have item.id. Then we have the price. So let's just add the price. We just have price. Okay. So here is going to be item.price. And that's it. Going back the card screen, let's go ahead and get the card. And also just going to get the types. Get the cart item. So in the cart item, we just need to get a few things. We need the name. I'm just going to only leave only one product. Then we need the price. And then we need the image. And then we have, I think that's it. And then we have the quantity. Then I'm just going to remove all others. Just like this. Okay, so we have the cart items and we don't need the code. So I'm just going to remove the promo code. We just need only the cart items. Remove this, apply promo code. And then for this item.price, then we have the discount, which I'm just going to remove. Then we have this cart. Then we have all this promo code thing. Let's just remove this for promo code. So down here, we also should remove this promo code. Okay, so we have all what we need. And now let's just go back the cart page. Let's import this cart. And then for the router, I'm just going to import this directly from Expo router. Now for these links, we have the checkout. If you want, you can create this, but I'm just going to simply console.log. So I have all these pages. Now let's go ahead and actually look at this. Refresh. Okay, nice. So we could just like add a click on this, or we can just like simply click on a cut. And you can see we have one item here, then which we have the totals, and then if I click on this, this increases. Now we just need to add the minus and the plus in these two things. Then we have this checkout button, which has the total amount for the items. So what we just need is the logic that adds that. Okay, we just need the logic for when I click add, it should just populate these items. And then also, like, if I go to cart, I should see those three items. And this is where they are going to apply the Zustand. So the first thing is I'm just going to stop this. I'm just going to go to this documentation at the top. And the first thing is to install the Zustand. So we just need to install Zustand with the React Native sync storage, since we're just going to use sync storage to persist the Zustand data. So I'm just going to copy these two packages. We already done the Flashlist. So I'm just going to say npm install. Let's give it some few minutes to install, and then we just continue. So it has finished installing. So the next thing is to create the Zustand store, where we're just going to have everything coming from that store. Okay. So after this installation, my PC has now frozen. Just give me a second. Okay, so this documentation talks about the implementation of React Query and data fetching. So what we just need is just where we have the add to cart functionality with Zustand. So after installing the Zustand, I'm just going to go ahead and create the Zustand store. So here you can just call the store. So I'm just going to create a folder, and I'm just going to call it store. And inside this store, I'm just going to add a new hook, which is going to be the use cart like that, .ts, just like this. And in this, the first thing is we define the cart item, which we already have the cart item. So what I just want is to go ahead and define the cart state. So this is the state that we want to be monitoring. Okay, this one. The cart state, we want to track the items, add to cart. Then this, in fact, this product, we already have this one as item props. Just get this. This is the item is of this type. Get the cart item. We already have types of the cart item. If you remember, they are these ones, the things we want in a cart. And then we have the product IDs are all the strings. Then after now, we need to create a function, which is going to be a use store. Let's just go ahead, and it has all these functions. Okay, so down here, we just need some few things we need to access. Now let's start with the first one. The first one, we have to import the create. We have to import the persist. So all these ones are supposed to be imported from Zustand. So you can simply go and let me just go to Zustand. So you can just say create so you can just import the create from Zustand, import, let's just come here and say import create from Zustand. Okay, and then we have the persist. So I'm not sure where persist we get, but I can search persist. Okay, so let's just go ahead and search for where is persist. So we just get these persist from middleware. Okay, and after that we have only one error, which is create this. Let's get from Zustand and async storage from async storage. So this we get this from the async storage. So let me just go to the React Native async storage. So we just have this, and this is the documentation. So you import storage. So you can see you can just like import this. Okay, so now we have this, and if I just go through what it is doing right now. So you can look at the carts. This is the state we are just going to be. We can just get items that are in cart. We can just get add to cart function, increment, decrement, remove from cart, get cart total, and get cart total price, and then also clear the cart. We can also clear all the items in the cart. So if you look at the add to cart, it accesses the product, and then it sets it, accesses the state, and then gets the items. Find that if already existing, you can see that if existing, return stated items. Okay, it just has the increment the quantity if you try to add it the second time. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead at this point and try to use this state in this. So we just need this add to cart. So we can just go to the product, and then in this function where we have this add to cart, and we can just simply say const, and we can just go ahead and say is equal to use cart store, and then in here we can just say have add to cart, and then we can just say call the add to cart, and then we give it the item. Okay, so now we can do this, and now let's do a toast. Let's just go to Expo and see if we can just get an alert. I'm not sure if the toasters, if I can just get a toaster. Okay, you can just search for toaster or the toast. I'm not sure what this does. I'm just going to first leave the toasters, but I would want to get a toaster. Just a second. So before we actually proceed, we need to add a toaster, something to add like some toast messages. So there are so many you can use. There is this React Native toast message. There is React Native notificated. There is another one, I think. There are some others. Another is called Bant, I think. You can just like try any, but I haven't used any, by the way. So I'm just going to try this React Native toast message because it is very lightweight. According to use, you can see here, very lightweight, only less than approximately 40 kbs. So we can just go ahead and do install. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. Let's go ahead and install this. I'm just going to go and paste. And let me use pnpm to install this. So you just look at the usage. So if you look at here, we can just say quick start. And then here they say that you install. After installing, then there is usage here. Render the toast component in your app entry file. So that means you just need to copy this, and let's go to the layout. So you just need to go to the layout that is in this root layout, and then you just need to put it anywhere here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it inside somewhere there, and you can just import this from React toast message. So I'm just going to add this on top here. So we have React toast message, and then we put this toast component. That's according to what they're saying. Now, to use it anywhere in your app, outside this, use the toast method. So you can see here, you can get the toast, and it's a toast.show, and then you have this. So just need to simply copy this like this, and let's go to our cart. So in the cart card, not in the cart card, in the product card. So in the product card, this is why we are adding this here. So after this, I want to do toast. So you can just get a toast like this. Show success, the text. I don't know if we need two text. I'm just going to say here. I'm just going to say item here. Just going to say item added successfully. Added to cart successfully, just like this. Okay, now let's just go ahead and start this. I'm just going to start and see if I have any errors. Okay, so I'm just going to reload. Let's go to our app here. So the app is building. Let me just go here. Okay, so we have our items. Okay, so I just want to add some of these items. So let me just go here and add the Lenovo. Let me just go up here. I might want to add this. So it says button clicked. This is this console. I did not do the toast. I don't know why. Okay, then let's go to the header here. In the header, where is it? The home header. So in the home header, we just need to get these here. So I'm just going to say const. Then I just get things from use cat store, just like this. So you can just get a lot of things from here. More especially, we can just get the get cat total items. So we have this get total items. This is a function. So I don't know if we can just say const cat length is equal to get cat items, just like this, and it returns a number, and then we add this here. So I'm just going to say this, and by default I'm just going to add 0. So you can see we have one item in cart. Let's add another one. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this Xenox light. Just don't know if I've clicked right now. Let me just click. Button clicked, and you can see here it increased to 2. Now I don't know what happened to our toasters, but they are not working. The toast thing we added, it is not working at all. So let me just see with our toast in the product card. So in the product card we have the toast, and then from this we're just getting this toast.show. I don't know why it is not showing. Does it mean that we have to show like text 1 and text 2? Let me just do this. Okay, let me just add the third item. You can just go ahead and add this here. I'm not sure if like this is covering, it is just covering coming and is here. What options can we pass in the toaster component? Using the API, the toast API. So you can pass in one text, as you can see here. You can pass in type. Options is text 1, text 2, first line of text, second line of text, position. So you can pass in the position. The default one is top, so this would be showing actually. So then that means like something is not right, because we would be having item added. By default this one would be showing. I'm not sure why that one is not working. We can just try another one, but let me just first finish the functionalities we need. So we have now these items. Let's go to cart, and we should just have these 3 items here. So I'm just going to go to the cart. So you can just go to the cart screen. where is the cart screen? So you can just go to the cart screen. Okay, so instead of just having these mocked data, I'm just going to first get them like that. And inside this cart screen, instead of just like having these, I'm just going to say const. And this is going to be equal to use cart store. And then from this, we can just get the items. So these are the items. I can name them as cart items like this. Okay, so we don't need this update quantity. Now we have the update quantity. So update quantity we can just get here, which is a increment quantity. Then we can just get the decrement quantity. So for this, we don't need this update quantity. Okay, we're just going to see what we're just going to do to this. Okay, so we have remove item. Do we have remove from? So we have also remove from cart. So we can call remove from cart. Let me just say remove from cart. And what does this one take in? So this one takes in product ID. So you can see it gets ID. Let's pass in this ID here. And we can also toast. Okay. We can just also toast. This would be good to toast here. And now we can also have the subtotal. So this subtotal, instead of doing the computation here, we can also just get this. We have get total items and get total price. So you can just get the total price. Okay, we're just going to say that this you can call get total price. And then the total is plus the delivery fee, which may be 5. And I think that's it. That's the only things we need to do. Let's first see. We don't have increment. So what is this update here? Okay, so we have this on update quantity. If you just look in the cart card, is why we have the increment and decrement, and it calls the same. So I'm just going to code the other two functions within here. So let me just go inside the cart screen. I will just simply remove this update. And I will also just get these out of here. Yeah, I'm just going to get them out of here. And let's go ahead to this component and remove this on update. We can just leave the only on remove. Let's just go ahead and remove this. Okay, so we have now increment. So here we can just come in and say const. And let's get from use cart store. And let's get here this increment. And let's say decrement. So inside the increment, let's just see if you look at this increment here. Increment quantity, if you look at what it takes in, it just takes in void. It doesn't take in anything. And then here we also have the decrement. So I can just come here and I say decrement quantity, just like this. Okay, and I think that's it. Go back to the cart store. Let's just first see. Okay, so you're saying on update, they just go here. Let's remove it from in here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and test this increment. Okay, this one is increment quantity, increment quantity, and then this is decrement quantity, not decrease. So if you look at the decrement, it takes in the product ID, which we can just get from the item. So we can pass in here item.id, and even here we can pass in item.id, just like so. Now let's just go back to here. So let's go to the cart. So you can see on cart we have 3 items here, and we have the total. If I increase, you can see that this increases, and if I remove, you can see that this removes. Now we can see if the remove works. If I remove this, you can see it is gone, and even the price goes. I can increment this, and it is working. Okay, so now this is really nice right now. I love it. You can also just like add clear all cart if you wanted, but I'm just not going to use it, and I like this. Now the last thing I just want to do is to make sure that we have the alerts working. Maybe we just use a different package. So we also still have this one. It looks like the setup looks somehow modern. I'm not sure how good this one is, but I just like try to maybe use this one. Getting started, installation, just copy this, and let me stop here. I'm just going to say pnpm add. Okay, then dependencies to be installed in your project. We already have reanimated, and I think the gesture handler is also there. I believe so. So let's go to the basic usage. In the basic usage, you have to create a notification in the layout. Let's hope everything was okay. So I'm just going to go to the layout. Let me just go ahead and create the notification. So inside here, you can just go ahead and create a notification. Of course, import this from here. So you create a notification provider, and now then wrap the application in the provider. So you can just go ahead and where we have this query client theme provider, you can just also go ahead and wrap the entire application in this. Okay, so we have the notification provider. Is that how it's supposed to look like? Actually, we could just like add it like this. It actually also works. So like to how we had the toast. By the way, where had I put the toaster? No. I'm not seeing the other toaster for some reason. Oh, it is inside here. We could just like add this notification provider. Let me just remove this here. we can just add the provider like so. It seems like it is under instead. I'm not sure if that is a must or something. Let's add it below. You can just also leave the toaster. I wonder why it didn't work. Okay, so let's just go ahead and try this out. So after adding this, you can get the notify. So let's start by going to the product card. So you can just go to the product card and you can just create this. You can just get the use notification. And now you can just create the notification metadata. I don't know how you call how do you basic configuration. Let's just look at examples. So we have remove modify. So you say notify. I just want to look at the notify. So notify here, success. Set ID. I don't know. Let's just first try this. Use cannot be called at the top level. So it's a hook, so it must be inside here. So then I'm just going to comment this and let's go ahead and use this. Okay, let's just go ahead and use this. Okay. Success, then there is this object. Wait and see. So we just left out this. Okay. Okay, so we have notify success. I'm just going to go here and say item added to cart successfully on this. Okay, and it has success. Let's try. I don't know, is the app running? I think no. Let's just start the app. I'm just going to reload and I just get this here. Okay, so this time we have some errors. And they say here we have some pan gesture handler must be used as a descendant of gesture handler route view. Otherwise, gestures will not be recognized. Okay, so pan gesture handler must be used as a descendant of gesture handler React view. So basically we have some issues in our provider. And that is just like the one with this notification provider. So I'm not sure if we can just like wrap let me just comment this. I don't know if we can just like wrap the whole entire theme provider to notification provider. Okay, so we still have the same React Native gesture handler installation for more information. So we just need to we just open the web. If you just go to the installation here on getting started, you see that you need also the dependencies. Let's see if we can just add this. Just going to say npm add we already have the word add, otherwise it's going to add it as a package. To add the add package. Okay, so you just simply need to add them. Requires additional installation guide here. So React reanimated, and for the gesture handler, I don't just bring the problem. So I don't know for the gesture handler, if you just go to the installation. Oh, so this is you have to wrap this. Okay, I think you just need to wrap the whole entire app in the gesture handler. So we can't just do this. I'm just going to paste it there, and let's get the notification provider, add it inside this, and let's go ahead and import this. We're just going to import the gesture handler, just like this. I think so. That's it. There is nothing else you need to pass in. Let's just go ahead and try to start again the app and see if we have the error solved. We can just also check. We can also just check the guide for reanimated. Do we need to wrap anything? I know reanimated is installed, but I don't think you need to wrap it anywhere. Okay, I'm very sure for it will be fine. So let's go ahead and start this. Okay, so the app stopped here. Okay, I'm just going to say no thanks. So this was opening. I'm not sure how do I go back to my apps. Let me just do this. I'm just going to restart the I'm just going to start the emulator, and then I'll just be back. Okay, so I've just restarted the emulator and everything looks great. I'm not sure if the toaster are working. So we have a lot of items here that we have just been adding. If you just go to cart, okay, so we have I think even the previous, because yeah, we only have 2 items, while in the other component we have more than those component. But never mind, let me just first go back. in here. I just want to add one more item. I think what I'm just going to do is using the items, because let me just go to the header. So here I'm just going to go to the home header. So instead of just getting this, I can just get the items, and then this we just say items the length, just like this. So you can see now we have two items. So let me just add, and now we have the success item added successfully. Let's add this success item added successfully. It doesn't look good, but I think we can customize it. At least for it is working. Okay, so I can just go to the cart, and we have for items. So you can just go ahead and remove this. So we can also just add that on remove. So you can just go ahead. I don't know what did I do. Let me just reload. Did I just like do the, I believe that this is now tired. The emulator is now misbehaving, as you can see here. But I'm just going to do is so I'm just going to, what I'm just going to do right now, I'm just going to go ahead and minimize this. Okay, I'm just going to open again. Yes. So we have our items here. We can just go ahead and remove. So on remove, I want to go to the cart item. So you can just say cart card. So in the cart card, we can get we can just get the remove. So we have the decrement. Importantly, we have also the remove. I think the remove is on the cart page. Let me see on check cart screen. Okay, so we have the remove here. So we can just go ahead and toast. Where is the toaster? The toaster is in the product card. Let me just copy this. And let's just go back the cart screen, and we can just like add this. Import notify, just like that. And item removed from cart successfully. Now let's just go ahead and do this. So you can just go ahead and remove this, and you can see the toaster is there, just like this. Okay, so that is the build. We have all the things working nicely. We did data fetching using reanimated using query TanStack React query. We also did add card using Zustand, which makes our app really nice. We also used a performant. We used the Flashlist instead of Flashlist. So we used a lot of stuff here that are really nice. So thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. For those ones who want the code, it will be at Next.js Academy. So if you're watching this from Next.js Academy, you will get this. If you're watching it from YouTube, you will have to go to Next.js Academy. It is where I'm going to upload this course, and people will just going to get it from this side. Okay, so thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.